So with the Washington Commanders set to start rookie camp here shortly, I decided to take upon myself to come on here with a special guest and give you all my way too early 53-man roster predictions. It's your man Juan Gotti. Let's get to it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti talking sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Wall Gotti talking sports.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty no beginner. She's
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders live stream. And today's live stream, I have a very, very special guest. First time on the channel. Let everybody know who we got to my right.
Hello, everybody. It is me. It is your girl, Miss K from K's Take.
I just want to say I already said it off air, but I want to give you your flowers early on. I told you I think you're the pioneer for the ladies in this community. So I just want to say welcome aboard to the community. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out your night. I see you already got your JD5 jersey. Am I a little bit jealous? Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous because that joke looking sweet.
I love it. I love it. And I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity and inviting me to your show. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate your kind words. And yes, shout out to my ladies. I want to shout out Asia and Erica. Please check out their channels as well, because we are trying to join this male-dominated space and just be all together talking about our favorite team. So Juan, thank you so much. Again, I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and shout out to the other ladies. Miss Carter, always when we do our show with Reedy and Z, she always on there. So shout out. Hey, look, I gotta talk to her. She finally made her channel because she was always on this and she know what she's talking about.
You want that deep dive? There you go. And then my girl Erica brings her energy. So yes, I absolutely adore them. I really do.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see what you all do in this community. It's space for everyone, and it's again, regardless of the gender. I gotta say all the time, it's some ladies in our fan base like yourself that may know more than me, may know more than some other guys. So it don't even really matter about that. But I wanted to first start by asking you this question. Of course, I know you done probably got it a million times already, but I'm gonna just add on to it. What got you started with creating content, and before even that, what made you become, a Commanders fan?
I like football since I was a little girl. My family is a very sports family, so we've always watched basketball, football, even golf, baseball, some, all the other sports. And I really like the Redskins. Of course, I liked them in middle school, but my love for football really took off when I was in high school. I was the football manager. And then, like I said before, I love a Cinderella story. So because the Redskins, unfortunately, were like the worst team, I was like, yeah, that's going to be my team. So that's where it all started.
Hey, look, your love for this team is just like mine. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we deserve some type of pension, some type of something for supporting the team for so long during this misery time, man. It's crazy. It's so many people. Like it's so easy for people to jump off, right? Obviously, the Ravens not too far, things like that. So many people can easily just go away. And I commend all of us that just stayed true to our team through all the terrible ownership and the quarterback and everything. So yeah, I mean, that's great to hear you, being a fan. Like myself, again, my story isn't crazy. Everybody always asks how you could. I'm from this area. Everybody know, like, you know what I'm saying? My whole family's Commanders fans, so I didn't know nothing different. Do I wish I would have known something different? Sometimes I sit there and be like, why couldn't I have been born in Boston? Why couldn't I have been born like in Boston and I become a Patriots fan or something? Why did you have to be born in DC and the DMV area? Like, why? Sometimes I question that, but it's all good.
Look, our time is here, okay? Yeah. This is what we have been waiting for. We are the true definition of diehards, and we are about to see our loyalty pay off, I feel. So.
Hey, look, in the feel that you feel, I think it has a part to do with them uniforms too. What you
I
think?
know.
Them uniforms, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll touch on that. The video that they dropped, that did it for me. On before I even saw the end of the video, before I even saw what the uniform was gonna look like, I was hyped. And then even the video they put out today, finally with JD5, Terry McLaurin, and I believe it was Trey Amos and Bill. That's what I have been waiting for. I wanted to see our star players in the new uniforms. We got that. That just added to my excitement.
Man, I'm telling you, when I seen that today, I was like, it was the Terry McLaurin one that first sold me because that's my guy, of course. Then, when I seen that Trey Amos all white, I said,
Yeah.
like, man, man, it's gonna be fire, bro. It's gonna be fire to see us. We can't get the name back, so this is the closest thing that we can have to
But
us.
that's okay. I think that's okay. The name that was part of that era with the direction that they want to go in, the new era, the rebrand, the fresh start. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the name now.
Yeah, I look, I was fine with the name or football team. I was like, hey,
Ooh.
look, I don't care what we call because you can't give me the Redskins back. So I'm like, I don't care. I just want to win. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I just want to win. So when we was the football team, I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like it is what it is. I can't get my name back. So it's like the Commanders. All right, cool, just win. But I will say this now, and I'm gonna forever keep my jerseys. You know, before we get into
No,
the main
yeah.
topic of today, I'm gonna forever keep my jerseys. But I didn't realize how bad the Commanders jerseys was until I seen the one you got on and the other ones. I'm like, Dan Snyder really just scrapped anything together. Like I don't. I
Yeah.
hate to say it because I'm still gonna wear them, right? But it's like compared to what we have now, yikes. I
Yeah, I
don't
didn't realize how basic they were. Like when
know.
I put this one next to the black one, now the old black one, that was one of my favorites too. But like putting this one next to that one and seeing the attention to the detail and what they've changed as far as the numbers, the stripes. Yeah, we are official now.
Yeah, we definitely official. Before we get into today's main topic, of course, along with introducing yourself and like how'd you become a fan, when did this thought of creating content come? Is this like very recent? Is it something that you've kind of been sleeping on for a while? Because we have a lot of people out there, even if it's not command, it's just content in general. People have the idea, oh, I want to do content, but they never pursue it for whatever reason. So when did that dawn on you to do this?
I've always kind of toyed with the idea, like, I want to talk about football because I do it with my friends and my family, but I can honestly say that God led me to do this. And God does what he does. He doesn't have a rhyme or reason to it, or he does, and we might not know. So
Mhm.
that's what I would say led me, and just my love for the game. It's something that I'm comfortable doing, and it's something that I want to share and to get more females into the game because I feel like sometimes females we may know, but because it's a male dominated space, you might not be comfortable. So I just kind of wanted to jump out there and just share my knowledge, give my takes of the game. I do it with my friends and family every
Yeah.
football season. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. Look, that was really my whole thing too, right? I've always made content, but like the
Mhm.
Commanders thing or the Redskins back in that time. Look, I sound like an old person, but I started in 2019 when it was the worst time possible.
Whoa.
But I'm telling that was like we were 3-13 that year. May God rest his soul, Dwayne Haskins
Mhm.
and Jay Gruden got fired. Like it was the worst time possible. But everybody starts at a different rate and different times. So I'm grateful for having them years under my belt. But boy, oh boy, if I could start right now doing because look, we ain't had no face of the franchise, no nothing. Like it was just purely just trash for us. But yeah, my story is kind of similar to yours in the start of content in that sense. But I've always done content even before the Commanders thing on YouTube. So my next question would be your favorite player currently, your favorite player of all time, and if you have one, who's that one player that you would defend till your face turns blue that everybody's just like, hey, I don't know, you tripping. I don't know about him, but you know, you like, nah, this is my guy right here. I got his back.
Favorite player of all time for the Redskins, Commanders, whomever, Clinton Portis. He is a hard runner. I love what he did for the team. He would put the team on his back and go. So he is my favorite player. My current favorite player is, of course, Jaden Daniels. I love his aura. I love how he is a leader. I love how he's a quiet leader. And he is a beast player. And the one that I will defend, because I have been getting so much flack for this, is Luke McCaffrey. I think he has so much potential, and I want to see him prove everybody wrong this season. So those are my three. What about you? I want to know yours.
Yeah. So before I even give you mine, I'm gonna commend you on that because boy, oh boy, I tell you, I defend Luke McCaffrey like no other. So let me go ahead and give you your flowers on that because they look they say I'm wild because I gave him the nickname Lukey Pookie. I don't care. That's what I call him. I don't care.
I'm gonna call him that now. There's gonna be me and you in the stadium calling him Lukey Pookie.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I've been saying that since last year, and I'm right there with you though. I felt like he was just turning the corner last year prior to him breaking his collarbone. You know what I mean? And look, I've always been like this. I've never cared to have a flashy like Devin Hester kick returner. I just want somebody that's gonna catch the ball and get some yards and just set my offense up. And that he does his job. Is it like flashy? Is he super fat? No, but I'm right there with you with defending. All right, so okay, my favorite player of all time. I'm gonna just kill two birds with one stone. It's very unfortunate that this has to be it, but in terms of all time, I should say. Originally, it was Jordan Reed. And trust me, my brain goes back a little bit further than that in terms of like players that I know and watch. But like I tell you, Jordan Reed, man, had he stayed healthy, I genuinely think he would have been the best tight end of this generation. Like people talk about Travis Kelce, I put him above Travis Kelce. Unfortunately, that's gonna sound crazy because he didn't pan out to be, but he was just ahead of his time. So at first it was Jordan Reed for a while, but favorite player of all time is Terry McLaurin. And the reason I say that again, it sounds so new, so young, but it's because in my lifetime we have not had nobody that was like, really that good that I can clamor on to for extended time. I mean, you make certain trades, right? Like,
right.
But nobody that's like super homegrown. I mean, I guess Ryan Kerrigan, but like, But for me, it's Terry McLaurin. That was my guy. And like when we had nobody, he was the only guy that
he was.
And it's crazy. I'm not going to do this, but I could use him for all three, all time, current, and the person I defend like no other. I could really do that because they be playing with Terry McLaurin name. But okay, so currently I'm gonna say it is Terry, but since I've already used him for my all time, I'm gonna say Mikey. I know that sounds crazy. Why is JD find that up there? I defend Jaden Daniels like he is my favorite player. But just think of these as tied off for first place in a sense.
Yes.
We're packing order, but Terry McLaurin all time. Then it would be Terry McLaurin number one. Then Mikey, and then Jaden Daniels number three. But I love Mikey. I really just feel like he got a bad rap last year, and I don't put a lot of it on his part. I put it on Joe Wood Jr. and being utilized in that position, because he's a playmaker, right? He's not a guy that you put out there on an island or expect to cover mono. He's a playmaker. He's football. So I love Mikey for that aspect. Also, I think he's like 24, 25, and
he's young.
He's young, but
he'll be around for a minute.
He'll be around for a minute for sure. Hopefully, so that jersey could be. Be utilized. I got PTSD. Okay, I got Chase Young's jersey. Two of them. I got his Dematha jersey and his football team jersey. Okay, so I need. That's why I need to get a Jaden Daniels one. I have two of Jaden Daniels. I need to continue to get his because at least I know he's gonna be around for some time. But
he's a sure thing.
Right. So with Mikey, everything about his game, how he carries himself on and off the field. I mean, he's so young, but he has the mindset that I feel like I want to have. Having a family so young and wife and kids and just kid. Like I just love everything about him and his family. His wife does the TikTok thing and I just love everything about Mikey and his family. So with him being a dog on the field, to me, just how he carries himself overall, and then like you said, being so young, I just love that. So it'll be Mikey and then Jaden Daniels. And if I had to throw one more in it just off a random, let me just throw somebody in if I could think random. I really don't even know because who do I defend like no other? De'Ami Brown. Come on now, look. De'Ami is
Okay,
my
okay.
guy. Okay, like I understand a lot of people they talk about the lack of production he had before that playoff run that he had, when he kind of he broke out. Yeah, he didn't really do much then prior to. But I do not believe that's his peak. You cannot
Okay.
convince me that what we seen in the playoffs, it wasn't more to offer had he been back last year. I'm
Okay.
telling you, I feel like Adam Peters and this coaching staff, they understood that I'm not gonna say they made a mistake because they didn't want to pay him what Jacksonville ultimately paid him, but they realized how much we missed a De'Ami Brown last year. So that's why I feel like he's back. Of course he's cheap too, so he doesn't cost that much. But I feel like that's a big reason why he is back as well. But it'll be De'Ami Brown. I mean, I would have thrown Mikey in there because people have turned on Mikey, but yeah, it's so many players I could say. I defend the whole team like no other. So yeah,
I do have a question for you though.
yeah.
With you and your pick being De'Ami Brown, with the injuries that we had last year, do you think that he would have peaked, or do you think that it would have been an iffy year for him as well,
I
since we
think
had nobody throwing the ball?
that's a good question. See that there you go. That's a good question because my that kind of changes my answer a little bit because had Jaden Daniels been out there and not missed 10 games, I would have said he peaked. I still feel like he would have been much better than Chris Moore,
Absolutely.
Robbie Chosen Anderson,
Yes.
all those guys we put out there. But that's a great question because if you look back at our season last year, Mariota played well. Okay, I get
He
it.
did.
He had his turnovers and things like that, but you can't sit up here and tell me he did not play good enough for us to at least win 8 games, at least be on the
Yes.
outskirts of the playoffs. So I really think if you give him, even with Terry McLaurin being out and JD being out, it was just Deebo Samuel. That's why I
Doing
want him.
everything.
That's why I want him back. I
Me
don't know why everybody they have not got him back or nobody really agrees with me in that sense. But he produced. I put it like this, and then not to ramble about Deebo, but I really get
No, you're
passionate when it
good.
comes to him because I genuinely feel like people only give him a bad rap or feel like he didn't live up to what he was supposed to because there was no Terry McLaurin. Because he gave us 800 plus yards last year or close to. He was our best target. He was our only target. So it's easy to say he didn't live up because you don't have that guaranteed 1,000 yards from Terry McLaurin
Right.
that he normally gives you when he's healthy. So look at it like this, Kay. Last year, Terry McLaurin gives you his guaranteed 1,000/1,100. Then Deebo still gives you the same production that he gave you this year. People will be not banging the table. Oh, we need to re-sign Deebo. We need to re-sign Deebo because he came in
Exactly.
and did exactly what he was supposed to do. But because nobody else, he was the only one. It's like Deebo ain't really do nothing crazy. We don't need him back, but I genuinely think we do.
Well, that
But
was my argument too, because I said we know how Debo can play. We've seen it when he was with the 49ers. We did not utilize Debo to his full potential. I mean, he had to do everything. So we know he's our gadget guy. He's our, he can run the ball, he can catch the ball, he can make big plays. We couldn't do that last year because everything we had to kind of play it safe last year. We had to play it careful. And we didn't have our starting quarterback. So I am with you. I want Debo back because Debo, Jaden, Terry, Chig at tight end, that I think that's a dangerous squad.
yeah,
And that's how I feel about it.
I do. I agree. And to answer your question about De'Ami though, last year, I do. I really do. I think that would have gave us a deep threat that we did not have that could stretch the field. And it would have allowed Deebo to get more opportunities. I mean, Deebo had his fair share of drops too. I can't sit up and act like he was perfect, right? But that beats every alternative that we had last year.
Right.
We had nobody offensively outside of him and maybe Bill, but even Cliff Kingsbury, he went away from Bill, right? He stopped giving up the ball. It went more to C-Rod. So I do think De'Ami would have added more to this offense last year. I mean, I even say that Jamison Crowder, like he would have provided a certain spot. Like that 2014, even though that 2014, I say this all the time, Jaden Daniels elevated that offense. That
Yes.
offense on paper was not as good. But that offense, I would take that 24 offense in a heartbeat over what we had last
What
year.
we had last
Curry,
year.
Jamison Crowder, right? Like I really feel like that. But De'Ami's back, and I genuinely think he's going. To me, he's a commander, man. Like he's a commander. I want him so bad to have a breakout year to where he can just sign him a little 2-year deal with us. Like I don't want him to leave because he just screams a Dan Quinn, Adam Peters kind of guy. But now
This is
that
the year.
we rambled about that. Let's finally get to the main topic as we're 20 minutes, and it's so crazy how fast the stream goes when you're having great
Oh
conversation.
wow.
But now, Alameda Zacchaeus. That's a good point. Erica. I forgot all of I would have taken Alameda back in a heartbeat, especially what he did for Chicago last year. Like I was kind of jealous.
Right. They go. Everybody leaves us and goes and shines.
Yeah.
We don't give nobody a chance.
Exactly. But now we're gonna get to the 53-man roster. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I had the professional look for the offense. The defense kind of got left out tonight, but it's okay. We're gonna improvise. So here is my way too early. Let me see, make sure I got the right one here. Yeah, the way too early 53-man roster. Hold on. Let me put it up here. How can I do this? Let me see. I'm gonna try something.
The exciting part.
Yeah, let me. Okay, so this is back. If we do it like this, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me. I know what I gotta do. Let me just try.
You're good.
You know what? I'm gonna do it like this. Hold up. Let me see. So I probably maybe if I do it like an overlay, but the offense for me personally, I feel like it's kind of simple. I mean, for me, Brandon Ayuk definitely throws a wrench in these plans, as we'll get to eventually, because we're kind of still waiting on him. Oh, you sound like you over him or over that situation.
I have been going back and forth on Brandon Ayuk only because he is being treated unfair in San Francisco. I'll give him that. I don't want to wait until September to get him. Mm-hmm. I think that will do an injustice to our offense. We saw what happened when Terry was holding out for the contract, and we saw how that chemistry was off. I don't want that again for our team. Mm-hmm. Not saying I don't ever want him if he did decide to come. However, we got him, cool. Mm-hmm. But to wait and to hold out and maybe pass up on other people, and one of them being Debo, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I was kind of like that on the same. I'm trying to let me see if I can. I probably have to just do it the other way. Yeah, I was personally like that for a long time. But kind of drafting Antonio Williams kind of let me breathe a little bit, because I tell you, if we didn't do anything at the receiver position in the draft, I would be a little bit. I'd be struggling, because as you're gonna see, like we have no offensive help outside of again, and that was pretty. We seen how that was for years now, right? So getting Antonio Williams kind of allowed me to say, you know what, Brandon Ayuk isn't that much of a pressing need anymore. I still, I'm open to having him, because I was right there with you for the longest. I'm like, I don't want Brandon Ayuk. We have not seen him play in 2 years. He comes with a lot of drama and things like that. But once we kind of got more information about like how the 49ers has been kind of acting weird. Look, Ian Rappaport already came out and told us Washington wants Brandon Ayuk. Yes. 49ers knows Brandon Ayuk wants to come to Washington. They want Washington to trade for him. And Adam Peters is not going to. Like, and rightfully so, right? So I think that's why it's so important for us to, in my opinion at least, to get let me see here, to get more receiver help, i.e. bringing back Deebo Samuel. So let's do it this way, see if it's better.
Now, before we get started real quick with the draft, would you have taken a wide receiver at 7, or do you think we got a good wide receiver at a good spot?
That's a great question. So I would have taken a take. I would have taken a receiver at 7. I was a big Makai Lemon fan. I don't know if you seen my reaction when the Eagles drafted him, but I was pissed. I was so mad because I think he's going to be amazing. Like, I really was fine with taking him. I was fine with taking Carnell Tate, who surprised me. I did not think Tennessee would take him at 4. Like, you know what I mean? So we had no, like, honestly, we had no shot. We talked all draft long, off season long. Oh, Jeremiah Love gonna be there potentially. You know what I mean? And he went to 3. I said, oh my God. Then Carnell went to 4. I said, oh my God, like, what's going on? And then the Giants, they went at 5 and then 6. They traded the Chiefs traded up and took Master Delane. So at 7, we kind of already figured that they were gonna go Sonny Styles. I was kind of hoping that they would. There we go. I was kind of hoping that they would have went receiver. You know what I mean? Because I'm big on getting Terry McLaurin some help at the
Yes.
receiver position, like a legit guy. And for the simple fact that I kind of want to do what Seattle did, right? Kind of phased out I don't want to trade Terry. I think Terry's a commander for life. So not in the sense of trading how they did with DK Metcalf, but kind of like grooming JSN to be their number 1 eventually. That's how I wanted it to be. I wanted Terry McLaurin to continue to be dominant, and then eventually he tails off as he gets older, still be a reliable too, but now the torch is passed to Makai Lemon, right? Or whoever. Now we got Antonio Williams. I'm like, hold on. Like, we still got that same kind of hope. Like, he's nice. A lot of people gave me slack for comparing him to Jahan Dotson, but I don't think people understand that I'm comparing to him. I'm comparing the way that they play, not who he is going to end up being.
Okay.
But like the style of play, it gives me Jahan Dotson vibes. It gives me Amon Ra vibes. It gives me Santana Moss vibes. Like, it kind of gives me them kind of vibes. And I do think he's going to be really, really good, honestly.
I do too. I was high on Zachariah Branch. After I did research, did some studying and some film watching, Antonio Williams, he's that guy. I'm happy with the pick.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
I definitely was. That was my favorite pick of the draft. You know what I mean? Then obviously taking Sonny Styles was amazing because I understand that point. But now let's go ahead and give everybody what they've been waiting for. Okay, let me see. The real he says, I gave you a shout out on my last episode 1, the one I'm posting tonight. Hey, I appreciate that.
Nice.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna definitely check it out for sure. I appreciate it. But now we can finally get here. I finally got it set up to where we can see it and maybe can still see us. Here's my way too early 53-man roster for the offensive side of the ball. So quarterback, obviously Jayden Daniels.
Obviously.
Right. That's come on now. The quarterback position is kind of, easy to predict in a sense. And then quarterback 2, Marcus Mariota. That's another obvious situation. And then quarterback 3, Ethan Kaliakmanis. QB 3. This was an interesting draft pick. A lot of people was like, why did we do this? Why did we draft the quarterback? But I'm like, I understand. I understood it. I really got it. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it when we went why you thought that, because in my head I'm like, I get it. Mariota isn't going to constantly continue to sign these 1-year deals forever. He's getting older. At some point, and even next year, he may be like, you know what, I want to go start somewhere. I want to be a bridge, if he gets that itch, right? The only thing that I can kind of understand what people were trying to talk to me and tell me was Ethan does not fit the style of a Jayden Daniels or Marcus Mariota. Like, he does not. He plays completely different. And I said, everybody listen. Like, the reason Ethan is here is because of David Blau. David Blau's offense is under center, play action, pocket passing. I don't know if you watch Ethan play, but boy, oh boy, does he have some touch on his passes. His deep ball is so pretty. He ain't running nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. But that boy he could throw. He can throw with some accuracy, some touch. He has a great arm, and he's a pure pocket passer, and that's exactly what David Blau's offense is going to be catered towards: under center, play action, taking shots down the field, things like that. So I understood it from that standpoint, and it kind of made sense because, again, you're hoping that you could turn this guy into your quarterback too, who can kind of be here for a while back in them Jayden.
I agree, and at first I did not understand, and I was like, oh, I felt like we wasted a pick, but watching different people's podcasts, getting different perspectives. It is a depth pick, but to your point, Mariota is not going to be here forever. So if
Mhm.
we can have somebody, like you said, that fits David Blau's scheme, then he is behind Mariota right now. So he's already getting the vet, he's getting the training, he's behind Jaden Daniels. Eventually, depending on how it goes, I'd be excited to see him play.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you this though. The preseason is gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's not gonna be like last year where we had to sit through Sam Hartman and
Yeah.
Josh Johnson. Like it's nothing. It's empty calories. At least in this preseason, you're gonna actually be able to watch it full because Ethan Kyler Commanders is gonna be out there. This is the future
Right.
backup, hopefully, right? And then obviously you got some young guys that's going to be out there as well, receivers. So it's going to make it very, very entertaining to watch this preseason. But I have high faith in him. I'm even thinking to the point where we thinking down the road, like he may develop so well and play so well in the preseason that we may end up being able to trade him or something. I think that high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. We can use him for bait. Get what we want.
Exactly. So next up, running back position, I have us keeping 4. This one was a little bit interesting because I knew that they wanted a running back. I knew they had interest in a running back. But when they went out and they got Jerome Ford and they brought back J Mac, I was like, okay, this is their plan B. Right? Their plan A is Jeremiah Love. And if Jeremiah Love would have failed at 7 and we selected him, we will only keep 3 running backs. It'll be Bill, Shaw White, and Jeremiah Love. That's what it would have been. But we didn't get Jeremiah Love. So I'm like, okay, I didn't expect them to draft the running back. Honestly, I said, okay, so the 4 we're gonna rock with is Mert, White, J Mac, and Jerome Ford. Like, cool. And that's really good because I think Jerome Ford is a really solid back. And of course, J Mac has been here for a while now. They love J Mac. He provides them so many different areas: pass blocking, pass catching, just a tough runner, and obviously he plays special teams as well.
Yeah.
But once they drafted Katron Allen, I said, hold on. Penn State's all-time leader in Russia over Saquon Barkley? Over our own Evan Royster? Evan Royster was my guy, by the way. Roy Halou Jr., all that. Those are my guys. Chris Thompson. I can go down a rabbit hole. Capri Bibbs. Like we always had some nice little running backs. Robert Kelly and all them guys. Anyways, when they drafted Katron, I said, this is our Sonic and Knuckles. Now, I'm not telling you that Bill's going to ever be anything that Jahmyr Gibbs is. I'm not telling you Katron's going to be half of what David Montgomery is. But we see that David Blau is building this offense like Detroit. And that's not a shocker because he was a player in Detroit. And who was their offensive coordinator at the time? Ben Johnson. And we seen how Ben Johnson's offense was ran in Chicago, a lot of under center. Jay Daniels has been practicing in the offseason under center. Terry McLaurin has been moving all around. Finally, I've been begging for him to be moved around since he's been since 2019. So I understood the pick, and I said he could come in and he's going to be exactly what we need. We lost Chris Rodriguez, which I was a little bit hurt about because I felt like he was just turning the corner, but he went to Jacksonville. Funny enough, like they on me, he signed for some good money, some money that we want to pay him,
and he'll do well.
He'll definitely
do well.
I love C-Rod. I wanted him back, but again, for that price tag, I definitely understood that you could find that replacement in Katron Allen, which they ultimately did with more upside. I may add. This is a guy that, like I said, is Penn State's all-time leader in Russia. He was their guy at Penn State 4 years, so he has a ton of experience. And he'll be able to provide this team with some physicality that they definitely lost this offseason into the backfield. So, Bill, of course, number 1. Who
for now?
Yeah. Oh, for now.
For now, I like Bill. I do. I think he could be a little more productive as far as the fumbling, holding on to the ball. I want to see him develop in that. He did have some good seasons for us, so I'm curious to see. But the addition of Katron Allen is definitely going to put some competition into this running back room. That's what I'm excited to see because, yes, we picked up depth picks, but the competition is going to be sweet.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
definitely is.
saying.
It definitely is. I don't. Hey, you might
I'm
be
just
on some.
saying.
Because look, at the end of the day, Bill is a 7th round pick. As much as people want to gas him up and make him
Hmm.
be to what he is, and again, I hope he reaches that potential. But at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
he is a 7th round pick. So if he doesn't reach the potential that people are holding him to or thinking he can we really be upset about that? Like it ain't like he was a 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round pick with true
Right.
expectation. So at the end of the day, it wouldn't shock me if what you're saying comes true. What if Katron is actually the RB1? What if he is that guy that every down back? Maybe. You know what I
Well, because
mean?
people were shocked that we got him when we did, Katron Allen. So you
Yeah.
just never know.
And
Nobody is safe.
the funny thing that you just brought up is I kind of made that little Instagram video I think the other day where I'm like every outlet that I see that talks about our draft is saying that like
Hmm.
everybody that we draft, oh, still at the draft or still at the round. I'm like, is it
Yeah.
possible that our whole draft could be steals? Like they're saying it about everybody. Katron,
Hmm.
Antonio Williams, Joshua Joseph, like
Even our center,
yeah,
well,
that
guard center, but they said they were surprised that he was there when he was.
exactly. So it's gonna be interesting. But the 4 that I have here, do you have anything to say about that? Is this how your 4 would be?
It would. Now, I will say, I was on Reedy and Z show, and I did say that I thought that Jeremy McNichols might not make the team, but how he's utilized and what he does on special teams, because of the versatility, I would have him on my 4. I would
Mhm.
put him in there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I thought at some point the J Mac would be ending, but he
Yes.
he just he DQ loves him, man. I mean, I was pissed off at him because of what he did in the NFC Championship game. You know what I mean? But DQ loves him, man, and he plays well, and he does provide you with ability to play special teams, which no other running back on this team does. Bill doesn't play
No.
special teams. Rashad White doesn't play special teams, and you don't draft Katron Allen at least off the rip to be a special teams guy at all.
Right.
So he kind of has a lock to be the running back 4. Uh, it kind of sucks because I definitely like Jerome Ford. I think he
He's
could provide
good.
something, but
That's who I had, but he's
mhm,
not as versatile. So
yeah. So wide receivers. This is, of course, interesting.
this one.
And we'll see on the next slide because I forgot to even put Van Jefferson up there, I think. So I'll just include his name up there when we get to the odd man out. But this is the interesting one. And before I even
Oh,
say anything about the receiving core, I'm high on Antonio Williams. I am. I love Luke McCaffrey. Jalen Lane, I think he gets an unfair rap because of how high he was drafted. But truth be told, he came in and did what he was supposed to do. He's a punt returner. So he's going to obviously be a lot. De'Ami Brown's my guy. I'm glad he's back. People saying that he could possibly get cut. I think that would be foolish. And obviously Traylon Burks. Not a guarantee to make this roster, especially if Brandon Ayuk does come in. But for right now, I have those as my 6. But just being honest, like this receiving core, it's not giving me that oomph. Like outside of the first 2 with Terry McLaurin, because Terry McLaurin's
hmm.
he's still, and this
Yes.
sucks because we've been saying this his whole entire career, and it's sad that we're in year 8 now of Terry McLaurin.
Right.
It's crazy. I literally remember draft night of getting him, and I remember his first touchdown. I should have had 2 versus the Eagles, but freaking Case Keenum want to overthrow him. But anyway, it's crazy that we're in year 8 of Terry McLaurin, and we're still talking about how he does not have a legit wide receiver 2 next to him.
I
You know,
know.
and he could have had that last year had he stayed healthy, right? Of course, but he didn't, unfortunately, for the first time in his career. But he didn't have a legit number 2 ever. And now
No.
Jahan Dotson was supposed to be that, and then didn't turn out to be that.
Saw what happened with that.
Exactly. So I'm only saying that because I have high hopes for Antonio Williams. But as it sits right now, it's just like it's Terry McLaurin and the rest is just unproven. And it's like I have high hopes for Luke. I have high hopes for Deami. I'm hoping Traylon could turn a corner. And
Mhm.
last year was something a start of something fresh air from a first round pick. But it's just like it's not giving me that oomph that I want to see at my wide receiver position.
Yeah, I agree with it. And like we cannot talk about the wide receivers without talking about Brandon Ayuk.
Mm.
If we do acquire Brandon Ayuk, then I don't think Traylon Burks will make the roster. I wasn't high on Jalen Lane either, but same thing. He's good for the return, so they'll keep him for that versatility. I am high on Luke. It was unfortunate that he did break his collarbone last year because he hadn't scratched the surface, and I will use this as for me his last year, but he did not scratch the surface, and there's so much potential there, and we saw a peak of it. So I do want him on the roster. Everybody else, I agree with Terry McLaurin being number one. Hopefully, this is the season where he can finally get his flowers and really prove who he is. Antonio Williams, after watching the film, after watching him, seeing how he can also throw, he is a yards after catch player, dynamic, great hands. He is, to me, could be the wide receiver too. I'm excited to see him on the field. And of course, Deami, he's our deep threat.
Mm.
But it's not, like you said, there's no fireworks for me and there's no excitement. It's not like, oh man, our wide receiver is there, man. We don't know who we're gonna. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's Terry McLaurin and a bunch of I believe that they can turn into this, but it's like we don't know. That's why it's like
Yeah.
I hate to put this much, I guess, pressure on Antonio Williams, but like I need him coming out the gates balling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He
That's
has
even
to.
that's even if we get Brandon Ayuk. The expectation
Right.
remains the same because unfortunately, besides Antonio Williams, who else do we have to put true faith on? Right? I mean, I want to say Luke, but again, are they going to utilize him? Is Luke going to actually take that step? You know what I mean? So we don't really know. And like you said, Jalen Lane, I think he gets an unfair rap because he was drafted in the fourth round. But it's like they drafted him to be a punt returner.
Right.
When they announced the draft pick and they showed his highlight package, it was straight punt returns. So the only
Yeah.
thing that you can probably say is Adam Peters should have drafted him that high, but it is what it is. He's not a receiver at this point. Now I will say Brandon Ayuk definitely changes a lot because even though you have no experience in the last 2 years due to your injury and everything like that, the name itself gives us confidence that okay, he still could probably turn out to be what he was. Oh,
And if we're being honest, it's the name, but it's also, I think people are relying heavily on the chemistry he has with Jaden Daniels.
exactly. Facts. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think so. And same with Rashad White as well.
Yep.
The Arizona State Gates. Hey, there she goes. Shout out to Asia. Asia says this was looking amazing.
Yay!
I appreciate Asia. Finally, Miss Carter. Finally, Miss Carter. You made the channel after so long coming into the show. Spitting your I forget it was this one night. Ooh, she went in on this. Now this is a sidebar, but she was going back and forth in the comment section with some fan in there, just and I'm like, oh, I ain't say nothing on the stream, loud in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, Miss Carter. I'm like, okay, because they be trying to play on the show with the B&B crew. But shout out to Miss Carter, man.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. With the chemistry. And let me ask you this: do you think that? Because my biggest thing is I'm with you. Like I don't want to wait to September or August or even July.
Right.
Because that's when training camp starts, and that we kind of gonna be behind the 8 ball. Do you think that Jay and Daniels and Brandon Ayuk are secretly working out together?
Absolutely. Do not be surprised. Right before any transaction happens, if we see some videos drop of Jaden Daniels and Brandon Ayuk, I wouldn't be surprised if he's been already with them, to be honest.
Okay.
What do you think?
The way he looks depressed on Instagram, I don't know. Because my man looks like his whole world is just over. I don't know if you see his pictures that he be posting.
But is it true? Like, don't forget, we're in an AI world now too. So it could be to throw people off. Not saying that it is, but I don't know. I don't know. I need to see. I don't know.
Maybe that could be the case. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know, but it's like I would hope so because I don't want to be behind the eight ball. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, ain't nothing like real life reps. I think we learned that with Terry McLaurin last year too,
Right.
because the reports came out last year that OJ and Terry was thrown in a bubble and all this and all that. But nothing is like real training camp practice. Nothing is
Mm-hmm.
like actually been in the fire. So even if they are throwing, that doesn't guarantee anything, right? You can look good against air. You can look good against no defense or nobody really chastising you or trying to stop you,
Right.
things like that. So I would say I'm 50-50. I'm in the middle. I would hope so, but who really knows? Um, my next question would be, Brandon, do you think they get to a point where they're like, all right, we're done. We're just gonna have to pivot because again, there's talks that we checked in on Jawan Jennings, who I'm not
Yeah.
too fond of. Like, I don't think he's trash, but it just wouldn't move the needle for me, right? Like Brandon
Right.
Ayuk, even though he hasn't played in 2 years, it would move the needle for me. As my guy
Okay.
Protect said, shout out to Protect, Stephon Diggs will move the needle for me. I've always been a massive Stephon Diggs. Now I know he got off the field stuff going on and all that.
Yeah.
I get that. So he most likely probably won't be a commander for that specific reason. But if we're talking strictly on field play, he still gave you 1,000 yards last year. So that would move the needle for me. Debo would move the needle for me. I would look at this receiver room so much different if it's Terry McLaurin, Antonio Williams, and Debo Samuel, your top three.
Yes.
Then your four is Deami, five Luke, and then six would be Traylon, and then seven probably would be Jalen Lane, of course. Like I expect this receiver room to be 7 receivers for sure.
Okay.
But we can't insert Brandon Ayuk because we don't know. But I expect something to happen. I swear, if we get Jawan Jennings, I know he's not bad. It's just like okay, that's just how it's like. All right, okay.
I would prefer Jawan Jennings over Diggs. I'm not too fond of things that happen off the field. It just brings too much attention, negative attention to the field. Is Stephon Diggs productive? Absolutely. Like you said, he had 1,000 yard season. He just does not fit in DC for me. My number one is Debo. I will ride the Debo train to bring him back until I'm blue in the face. I believe it's going to get to a point where they say, you know what, this is too much. Brandon Ayuk will try to acquire you at a later date, at another time, if not at all. Because what can you do? How long can you wait before you're not being fair to the players? He needs to be training with our players because, like you said, you need to build that chemistry. You need to build it together. Playing alongside of the other players makes you better ultimately because you want to compete. You want to be competitive. He's not doing that. And it's getting to the point now where it's getting too late. Like training camp is here. He's not here. And the first game is in September 9th, which is on Wednesday. But that's when they're talking about releasing him. It's going to get to that point, and I don't want anybody to be sad or shocked when they tweet out that Washington has decided to move in another direction from Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, Kyle Shanahan hates us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of what we did to him and how we treated his father and things like that. So of course they're being petty with us, right? Had this been another team in the AFC somewhere, like let's just say the Colts or somebody in the AFC, like a random team, he probably would have been gone. But they know there's no true market for Brandon Ayuk. Nobody truly wants him. It's just
Right.
Washington. Like they know what they're doing, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have that unfortunate gut feeling that we're probably gonna get to that point where it's like we're not about to fool around and wait for Brandon Ayuk. We're gonna have to
Right.
pivot because it's either continue to wait, trade for
Mm-hmm.
him, which we're not going to do.
No.
You know what I mean? Or just wait it out, and you can't afford to wait it out. You know what I mean? We
No.
have to get because it's already May, right?
Right.
We talk about July, we talk about June, we talk about July, but it's already May, right? We don't
Right.
we think about training camp being the big camp, which it is, right? But what about the mini camps, though? You know, the rest
Mm-hmm.
of the OTA phases, things like that, that is so crucial to a developmental part of an off season. So I
I
don't know,
don't
man.
know.
I'm still
Yeah.
kind of hopeful for Brandon Ayuk. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I think we may end up getting to a point where they say, you know what, I'm cool off of him. You know,
Yeah.
but
Gotta go.
yeah. Tight ends. And as the time, look, I said this time is going by so fast. So we probably might double back and do the defense on another
Yeah.
show. Um, tight ends. This is interesting for me. We finally got a tight end one. It's been so long. Hold on, I gotta do this just for the simple fact we got a tight end. When I tell you I love Jordan Reed, bro, like we have not had a dominant tight end since Jordan.
No.
Like I thank you, Zach Ertz, for your time and for what you did. You exceeded expectation.
Yes.
Even thank you to Logan Thomas for that 2020 season, right? Like, you know what I mean? But we have not had a tight end that can move, that can pass catch,
Mm-hmm.
that can just be a lethal weapon in that middle of the field, for our quarterback in so long. You know what? Even shout out to Jeremy Sprinkle. Who remembers Jeremy Sprinkle?
You're
Like
taking it back.
that's the kind of tight ends that we've been putting out there, and it's just like, man, Chig was
Yeah.
probably my number one free agent pick. If I'm being honest, I
That was my
banged the
favorite
table
signing.
for him. Yeah, I banged the table for him. I said, I wanted him. I kind of predicted him to us in so many ways. I'm like, he fits this offense, right? He gives us
Yes.
that offensive weapon in the tight end, because we know Jaden Daniels loves the tight ends. How many times has he thrown the ball to Zach Ertz? The most.
Right, but it was only in the end zone, and Jaden used him as his safe option. We knew Zach wasn't about to catch the ball mid and run down to the end zone. Like, he didn't
Exactly.
give us that. I appreciate Zach Ertz. I was devastated when he got injured because, like I said, that was Jaden's safe option. But to have Chig come in and we have a younger team, we have a faster team. He will be another person to watch on the field that will throw other defenses off. That was my favorite free agency signing,
Yeah, of
hands
course.
down.
Yeah, and Miss Erica said I go way back. Chris Cooley. Hey, I remember Chris Cooley too.
Oh,
I remember Chris Cooley too. Look, Chris Cooley. I raised you this, Miss Erica. Niles Paul. Come on now. Now, who remember
look,
Niles
she about to get
Paul?
right in this. She about to come right back in the chat with that
Niles
one.
Paul. I give you Niles Paul. Logan Paulson, who we know for being on the TV now, but come on now. Like we've had our fair share of tight ends.
Yes.
But I'm with you. Chig was my favorite, sign, of course, being a little bit biased. He went to Maryland, so shout out to my Terps. Being a little home biased, but it's cool.
Hey, that's even better.
Right. Oh, Nick Cross too. So
Yes.
Nick Cross here. So like that signing was so good because, again, like you said, Zach Ertz wasn't doing it. He can't stretch the field anymore. Now,
No.
Zach Ertz back in Philly, who used to torment us, him and Carson
Yeah.
Wentz to kill us. Like, maybe if this was Zach Ertz 8 years ago.
The prime.
Yeah, prime Zach Ertz, but not anymore. So Chig provides us with the aspect of the tight room that we've been missing for so long. John Bates, best blocking tight end in the NFL. I feel as though his hands has improved drastically, and I think this year you will see him be more involved in the passing game. I think it was never really his hands for me. It was more so about protecting the football. Every single time he caught the ball, he would fumble it or things like that. It would be so loose, and he just has the yips. But last year, in his fair share of opportunities, he made for it,
Yes,
made
he
up
did.
for it. And again, he'll always be here because he can block his tail off, and that is something that every team needs. So he's kind of like the Jeremy McNichols at a tight end group, right? He's gonna always be here because he's so important.
And David Blau likes him. He was very high on him, talking about how he sees him fitting in, and I think he's probably making plays for him. So he'll be here for a while. He will.
Exactly. And number 3, Ben Sinnott, man. No, and the reason I sighed because I was so high on him. I was so high on Ben Sinnott. Like I defended him like no other. But like last year, I'm just like, dude, like
He didn't live up to the hype.
they're not giving him no opportunities. He's not been on the field, even when Zach Ertz was down. You know, they called up Kosin Yankov, which I understand. You had to bring up another body, but like he was just not involved enough. And I noticed that he was supposed to come in and be that Kyle Juszczyk for our offense, not really a pure tight end. But even in that aspect, they weren't using him like that. Now, he'll probably be utilized more like that now that we're going to a personnel that fits him under center, having H back, things like that. So he'll probably be utilized more. But I mean, dude was a second round pick. You know, he was one of our round picks from 2024. And he just has not produced like it. So much so, K, that I'm gonna be real with you. I would much rather have Kosin Yankov at 3 than him. I really would. That one,
Really going into this year?
yes, that one catch that I don't know if you remember it, but that one catch that he made against the Ravens in the preseason game and showed some yak ability.
Yes, I remember.
That was more.
Yeah.
That was more than Benson has done his whole 2 years. I'm more high on
So do
Kosin.
you think Ben Sinnott has it though? I'm not saying that he does. But do you think that if we do keep him and he develops, that he could be that person for us, or are you done with him?
Yeah, I think if we keep him and we give him an opportunity to develop, because I don't think the biggest thing about him is I don't think he fits. I don't think he fit Cliff Kingsbury's offense.
Okay.
I don't even looking back on it, I don't even think he was a Cliff Kingsbury pick. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he was a Cliff Kingsbury guy. I mean, you can kind of see his style of offense. It was gun, one running back to the left, or split backfield, one tight end. So more so in this offense, it's going to be utilizing 2 tight ends. Chig is obviously going to be the first one.
Right.
And Ben Sinnott can have the opportunity to be the second one. Remember the Jordan Reed day, and I know I keep bringing Jordan Reed up, but we had Jordan
That's your
Reed.
boy.
Yeah, we had Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis. And I wonder if the chat is going to be able to guess what I'm about to say. But it was. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to remind you just to kind of remind everybody in the chat. Sean McVay was the offensive coordinator. He had this guaranteed money play every single time, y'all. What am I about to say? Let me know what the setup is.
I'll say, what's the chat saying?
Kirk Cousins was the quarterback.
And
it was money every time. Let me see if anybody can guess what I'm about to say. What's the play? Someone put it in the comment section. I give you the setup. It's Kirk Cousins, Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis. Let's see if anybody can guess. Just you don't even gotta say like a specific play call. You can just tell me what kind of route or anything that you feel like that they were running. The red zone jump, 3 wide receivers to the left, tight ends to the right slant. Not quite. That's the Jordan Reed. That's the Jordan Reed touchdown money play. I'm talking about not slot route in the red zone. No, not that. It's not down by the red zone. I'll give you a hint, okay? Just let's just say a certain yardage mark. We're slightly under midfield. This is a big play to get us a major gain down the field to put us in position to actually score. Let's see if anybody get. I'll give them 30 more seconds, and then after that, I'll just say it because it's not like it's not super crazy like insane, but it just kind of gives me an vision of what. Yeah, somewhat like that, Protect, somewhat like that. So, a big popular play that Sean McVay ran, it was Kirk Cousins at quarterback. It was Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis both on the field, 2 tight end set. Hikes the ball, play action fake. Jordan Reed runs a route. I would consider it not a slant, not a dig, but it's kind of ran flat. But he runs, long story short, they kind of mesh, right? Jordan Reed runs over top, Vernon Davis runs underneath. Play action fake. Jordan Reed's either open on this side, but 9 times out of 10, skinny post is what you would call it. 9 times out of 10 on the backside, Vernon Davis is open.
Okay.
And the only reason that works is because of the under center play action fake. That was a major play for Sean McVay, and and looking back on that term, the mesh concept. Yep, that's what we can call it, the mesh concept. So that's what I think we can do with Ben Sinnott, getting them opportunities, because Chick's speed is going to, going to occupy a lot of the cornerback safety help on one side of the field. And like, imagine you run that dig route underneath, or that skinny post underneath with Ben Sinnott over top Chick, and then behind that you got a seam route with Antonio Williams running the
man.
And then
the defense head gonna be on swivel.
That's what I'm saying. And then Terry McLaurin, come on, hey, they might need to put me in that offensive install, man. I might got to play under my sleeve, but that's the way that I can see Ben Sinnott being involved, because I don't think he's like, I'm not done with him. I think this offense may cater more to his strengths, is what I say.
Okay, that's valid.
Yeah, and then we're almost finished here. Offensive line. Laramie Tunsil, Chris Paul, Nick Allegretti, Sam Cosmi, of course, Josh Connolly Jr., Andrew Wiley, Matt Gobin, Brandon Coleman, and Trent Scott. Now, the hope for me is Matt Gobin comes in and just dominates center, and he starts at center. See, I love when they came out and said, when Dan Quinn came out and said he's going to start at center, right? There's no center / guard. There's no nothing. That he's going to be a center. We have not had a pure center, because I'm tired of drafting these. I know, I get it. That's the way draft these guys that can be versatile and play multiple positions. I get that. But the one position I don't play that about is the center position. I need my center to be a pure center. And that's what Matt Gobin gives me, because, again, for me, I felt like we were spoiled at the center position, right? I felt like Corey Littner-Steiger a long time ago was really, really good when healthy. I felt like Chase Roulier was so good for us. He kept it quiet, but unfortunately he kept getting hurt. And even his backup, Tyler Larson, was really good for us. I think Spencer Long too, but we have not had a legit center like that. I like. Tyler Biadasz was good in 24.
Yeah,
I felt like he could have shaken back this year. I think they kind of got a little bit over their head with cutting them. I still don't agree with that to this day, because it kind of forced us to invest into the center position.
Right.
They were willing to pay Tyler Linderbaum crazy money. I'm so glad that the Raiders outbid us. If we would have I'm telling you, Kay, if we would have gave him that much money, I would have been curving. I'm not gonna lie, because to a center, what do you get? 27, 28 million? Like, that is insane.
Yeah. And our cap would have taken a hit. No, we did good. Exactly. Exactly. And for a center, absolutely not.
So anybody stands out to you about this offensive line, or is this kind of how you envision it?
This is how I envision it. I do want to see Matt Gobin at center, though, seeing what he did in college and how often he started and the versatility. I would prefer to see his name under the C. If Nick Allegretti gets in there, gets in camp, and does what he's supposed to do, I would be okay. I'm just not confident in Allegretti, to be honest.
I feel you. I get you. Allegretti is my guy. So I kind of share. Look, Reedy and Z, they get on me all the time, because I defend. I should have put him in the beginning of the guy I defend like no other. But it's really just because of his versatility and how good he was. I think it was in 24. I think it was. The same with Andrew Wiley. Andrew Wiley's still been around. It's kind of crazy, because the first year he was absolutely putrid under Eric Bieniemy, but who was not bad under the ball guy. He was so
right.
Good. And then last but not least, the specialist. You see somebody that I don't see. That you is it somebody you see that?
So you're not a Moody guy.
It's not Drew Stevens. This is a bold one.
Legit.
I got 72 yards.
Legit.
I'm not gonna say I'm not a Moody guy, but I'm not a Moody guy. Like,
okay.
I want to have faith, because we've always been the team where, like you mentioned about Alameda as kids earlier, we're always the team that sends their players to go elsewhere and actually prevail. Same with the kicker position. Graham Gano ends up becoming a Pro Bowl kicker. You know what I mean? Kyle Forbath was pretty good here, but ended up going somewhere else, I believe. Right? I think a long time ago, like Sean Sweezum and them guys, but Dustin Hopkins. I still can't forgive him about 2016 missing that kick over in London. Finally, we're going back to London. Shoot. But he ends up becoming a Pro Bowl kicker for Cleveland. So I'm hoping that Jake Moody, he ends up figuring it out here and like that we get our guy because he's on 25, 26 years old and he's a former third round pick. 49ers were stupid for making that pick, by the way. But hopefully he finally figures it out after ripping our hearts out and basically ending our season last year versus the Bears. That game pissed me off. I was in the rain for that game. Oh man!
Oh no! It wasn't the game of 2024. I tell you that.
Exactly right. It kind of still had that same anticipation at the end. Look, all Jay had to do was catch the ball. Right, we would have won. But anyway,
that's it.
I hope Jake Moody can win the battle and become our kicker, but I would just say I love the fact that they brought in competition. I wanted Matt McCrane, the DC Defenders kicker. I wanted him so badly. I'm waiting for they see. I still would want him to come in. You know what I mean? But they'll so good over there, and I hope so.
I think so.
Yeah, because he's so good over there for the DC Defenders, and he's a former NFL kicker, right? Like it's not like he doesn't have no experience. Maybe, just maybe, he figured it out. Maybe he had some roads, some bumps in the roads early on, and now he's like 30, 31, which kickers, that ain't nothing. Brandon Aubrey's 31, and he just got a bag, best kicker in the NFL.
Oh.
So I know, right? Dallas, but I hate it, right? But
he's really good. He's in our division.
he's so good. I hate it too, but it's like, But he comes from the UFL, like, so that's where I'm like, I hope they give him a call. But even if they don't, I'm happy that they just brought somebody else in to compete with Jake Moody. So that's my bold prediction. Jake Moody does not make this roster, and it's going to be Drew Stevens. Punter, obviously, Tress Way. That's my guy. I want to get his jersey, but he's in 10 now. If he was still in 5, I would have got his jersey. But 10, it's kind of like But Tressway's my guy, gonna forever be a commander. And as long as that left leg still rocking, he'll be.
We got him,
and he got the highest QB percentage ever, 100%. And then, unlike Dak Prescott, he has a pass completed in an NFC Championship game. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw no shots, but shout out to Tressway, and then obviously long snapper Tyler Ott.
Yes.
Should be Cam Cheeseman since Ron Rivera wants to draft him in the wants to draft a long snapper out of all people. But Tyler Ott, long snapper, and as Miss Erica said, competition at kicker.
Yes,
that's what we need because I feel like kickers training camps are so lax. They're not grueling. They don't have to compete for much. Like they have it so easy, so it's easy to just chill. No, we need you to ramp it up and prepare, even if you're not going to get replaced. Even if they just bring in somebody to have for the summertime. Cool, but make you earn a shop in your eyes. So I'm glad that they did that. And before we get out of here quickly, these are just my odd man out, and then we'll get out of here. Because it's kind of over an hour. We'll do the defense another time. But is this? Let me see. Let's see if this is the defensive one. I really don't know. Or not the defensive one, the odd man out one. Let me see. Okay, no, so that's the same one. Hold on. Let me do this. I didn't name it at all. Let me see.
No, you're good. And real quick, I also just want to shout out off the bench, Big Herb. He going back to the conversation at the beginning. He was the first person to give me a chance to invite me on his show. So shout out to him. And then I see him in the comments, but shout out to ProTech.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Big Herb. Shout out to my man off the bench. I met him down in Atlanta. It's funny. I think I met him the most in real life out of all people. Besides ProTech is kind of the only person that I probably had known in real life like consistently. So besides like ProTech, and it's funny because me and Big Herb, it's never like link up or plan anything. We just run into each other like off. So
he's everywhere.
That just been, Big Herb be outside, man. That's all it is.
Yes, Big Herb is everywhere.
He be outside, but no, that's my guy, man. Off the bench. I'll definitely reach out to you soon, to bring you on the channel as well. I was supposed to be with the draft party, but I ain't gonna lie. I told everybody that I wanted to go to the draft party at the stadium, which I encourage everybody to go. It was so fun. But
I will be doing that next year.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. It's just like a big melting pot of just obviously Commander fans. But yeah, shout out to Big Herb, shout out to Protect, shout out to everyone in here. But let me I didn't label this, so I don't even know which one it is. I'm hoping that it's this one. Please. If it's not this one, then okay, so it's not that one. That's the thumbnail. It gotta be, let me see. This one right here. Next time I'll have them labeled. Gotta be this one. Come on. Boom. No. Oh my God. All right. Hold up. So it's the top one. It gotta be the top one there. Hold on.
Odd Man Out.
Let's see. Yeah, the Odd Man Out. Okay, there we go. Boom.
There we go.
All right. So Odd Man Out quarterback, Sam Hartman. Thank God. Okay. Thank God. No disrespect to Sam.
I love Sam Hart as a person.
We know. Come on, we know why the ladies love Sam Hartman, man. We know why. We know why the ladies love Sam. The luscious hair, the commercial. Come on, we know.
He
is
a good person. Okay, it is not just vain. He is a good.
I know he is, but look. Being a good person, being a good person in a profession of performance gets you.
Yes, I know.
You know, I know that's your guy, and that's a lot of people's players, and especially if you're Notre Dame Fighting Irish fans. But he stunk it up in the preseason. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he was so bad last year. Like not bad, but bad. And trust me, I seen it in person twice at the Bengals game, at the Ravens game. Like I was there. I'm like, I rooted for him so bad because he's Jaden's boy. I want him here. So maybe they keep him on the practice squad just for the morale purposes, just to be, JD5's personal hype man. Running back, Odd Man Out, Jerome Ford. This is a tough one for me because I really think he's talented. I just think the fact that he doesn't play special teams is what's going to hurt him for not making this roster. Wide receivers, this one sucks because Ja'Cory Brooks is my guy, and I felt like, again, not trying to continue to take shots at your boy, Sam Hartman, but I felt like Ja'Cory Brooks suffered a lot from the inaccurate passes, the horrible, missing him wide open again. Like I said, I seen this in person. Like Ja'Cory Brooks was getting open, right? But he just didn't give guys fair chances to show their skills. Mm-hmm. So Ja'Cory Brooks, Nick Nash, my guy Jaden Bradley, who's the undrafted free agent, that I want to make this roster so bad. 6'4" from UNLV. I think he has an opportunity to make. Yeah, I think he has an opportunity to make this roster if we don't add anybody else to this team. But I know for sure he's going to be a practice squad guy. I know for sure he's going to be kept around because he's very talented. Chris Holton Jr., who's the former LSU Tiger teammate of Jane Daniels. He's an Odd Man Out. Jacoby Jones, and then Van Jefferson. I forgot to add his name up here. My Odd Man's out. Yeah. Tight ends, Kosen Yankoff, and Lucas Cager, who I don't know if that was in Lucas Cage's contract or whatever, but when I found out he was the model for the uniform,
the model for the video,
I was like, why out of all people, why Lucas Cager? Though, like, I wonder why they picked him.
Because he might not be getting a job. They had to give him something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They had to include him some way.
That's true. Ms. Erga said he just holds Jaden's hat. That's what I'm saying. And then last but not least for kicker, obviously, I think hot take Jake Moody is going to be the Odd Man Out, but we'll see. It should be a fun competition. In Jada Kiss voice, we outside. Big Herb's always outside.
outside.
Every time I met him, he's always outside. And look, live your life to the fullest. I need to get like that. Maybe I need to enjoy life. Every time I look at Big Herb on Instagram, he's enjoying life. As he should.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As you should, always smiling outside, having a good time. All right, look, I aspire to be like that. You know what I mean? So shout out to Big Herb. He says, disrespectfully, Harvard is trash. I don't need nice guys. We need ballers at Notre Dame too. Yeah. He was.
I knew he was gonna say something about Sam Hartman.
Yeah, he was so bad, man. It's crazy, but
that's when we bring in Josh Johnson over trusting in him.
Oh man,
That's a telltale right there.
Yeah, I was even more pissed about Josh Johnson. Now, first thing, Josh Johnson, I was behind when he was here in 2018, almost led us to the playoffs. I was behind with it, but 39-year-old, I was at training camp this past year, and I knew in training camp he man, he almost 40. He ain't got the same spin on the ball like he used to. I was like, man, this ain't gonna be good. And he had to actually play valuable snaps for us, which is crazy. But
yeah. Never again. We're not going to be in that situation ever again. 2025 is a wash.
Exactly.
We are not.
We will never.
We will never have this high of draft pick. Like no.
And that's why it was so important to take advantage of it. That's why now I look back on it. It was a blessing in disguise.
It was. It was our time.
Shout out to my guy Ed. It's Lawrence Cage. Look, Ed. Look, Ed. We know that. We know that's your guy probably. But look, I didn't know. I forgot. I thought it was Lucas. I thought it was Lucas. I ain't gonna lie. I was rushing though, Ed. Give me a break, Ed. I was rushing, trying to get the
get some grades.
You know what I mean? But look, and he was the model for the uniforms, Ed. So that's good enough. That you feel me?
He got a job. He got a job. He was in a commander's uniform. There we go. We got something to remember him by.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Ed. Of course, I always give Ed his flowers. Anytime I meet him in person, very cool guy, and he's the reason I actually started my channel. So always gonna give my brother Ed his flowers. Shout out to my guy. Yeah, he said he ain't almost he is. Hey, look, we might have better success throwing Big Herb out there than Josh Johnson.
I'm about to say.
I think we can have Josh Johnson. Big Herb out there throw some better passes than Josh Johnson. But yeah, shout out to Ed, shout out to everybody. But before we get out of here, any final words you have about the odd man out? Anybody that you would add or anybody you would take off? Go ahead and take off Sam Hartman, okay? We can't. Go ahead and take him off.
I'm not. As much as I love the personality, he will be the odd man out. Everybody else, I believe, is the odd man out. We can add Van Jefferson to there. Maybe. For the wide receivers, that's the one I'm going to have my eye on in this training camp because they're all about the same level besides Terry and then Williams. The running backs, Jerome Ford probably be only because he doesn't have the versatility. Tight ends, yes, I agree with. And kicker, I'm going to put a question mark there. I'm not going to put anybody definitively on that list because of the competition. Mm-hmm. We'll circle back to that one after camp.
Do you think they keep one on a practice squad? Probably Drew, if anything.
Yeah. Jake Moody is probably going to start.
Yeah.
If we're being real, he's probably going to start. Now, will he finish the season starting?
And that's the thing.
It depends on how he does.
That's the thing. That's why I said, do we keep one on the practice squad? Because you don't want to run into situations how we had before where kickers randomly get injured, right? Zane Gonzalez. You got Zane Gonzalez over here doing this and all that, right? And
that was my guy for real. Zane Gonzalez, that was my guy. He had OCD, but I tell you one thing, he paid attention to detail and he was pretty accurate. That was my guy.
Well, I understand he had OCD and I get that. That don't help my heart pounding. You know what I mean? That don't ease my heart. Look, that make it even more nerve-wracking for me. My heart already pounding.
I know.
And then you gonna do that, and then you got the nerve to not hit it clean, but doink it in. So the whole time the ball is tailing left, and I'm thinking, oh, we lost. So Zane Gonzalez, Austin Saber, Cade York, who we had the nerve to trade a 7th-round pick for, like we gotta keep 2 kickers on this roster.
It'll be Moody and Stevens.
I wonder if Ed's still in here because Chris Blewett was a guy from years ago. And what was his name? I forget. I think it was like Chris Brown or somebody like that won us the Raiders game. I forget his name. Raiders game a minute ago. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I do realistically probably think Jake Moody starts, but I just had to throw a little high take in there because I want Drew Stevens to win this battle. But I think regardless, we should keep one on the practice squad because it's like you don't want to get this. The season's so long. Injuries can happen. You don't want to put yourself in a position to where now you let go of one of these kickers and now you have to find somebody because whoever gets is going to get picked up, right? Because so many teams going to need kickers, so many teams going to want to have it back. Like we have to keep one of them on the roster. If you
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that being said, there we go. We covered
There we go.
and we had a blast. It was way lit to me. Big Herb
Me too.
made it fun in the comment section. Ed made it fun. Miss Eric, everybody, shout out to y'all for coming
Yes.
through. And more importantly, shout out to Miss K for taking her time to come on the channel for the first look. She didn't have to respond to me. You know what I mean? But for the first time,
Oh, please. You didn't have to reach out to me. You did. Look, and I want to give you your flowers too, because congratulations. You're at 12,000 subscribers. That is huge. That is where I'm aspiring to be. So you did not have to reach out to little old me. Okay. So I appreciate you as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, man. 12K. That's quite a bit.
That's amazing.
Milestone. Yeah, I appreciate everyone for rocking with me on the channel, and
Yes.
I appreciate you for coming on. Most importantly, so before we get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you on all social media platforms and everything you got coming up.
All right. I am on YouTube at K's Take. I am on Twitter at K's Take _, and I am on Instagram at _ K's Take. I will be going live on Thursday with the podcast Under Command. And then there's something special brewing in the works. I'm not going to say too much, but there's something special going on. So just stay tuned. I don't have a live schedule yet. I'm going to work on that probably closer to the season. But continue liking, following, subscribing. I truly appreciate all of you guys that as well rock with me. So thank you. And thank you again, Juan Gotti.
Anytime. Look, this ain't gonna be the last time we get on here.
No, we gotta do the defense.
We gotta do the defense. So we'll definitely schedule that up. And I definitely enjoyed the time. Great conversation. And
yes,
we're gonna be doing this quite often. We definitely gonna be doing this quite often. Congratulations, Juan. Sorry, I missed the live, bro. I'm working. Oh no, you all good. You all good.
Run it back.
Yeah, rewatch it, and I'm gonna make sure to pin Kay's channel in the comment section and in the description.
Thank you.
You guys, please go subscribe to her, run up her channel, and get her going. 1,000 subscribers right already. Look, I told you, look, you hit that like this. I found your channel when you had. I don't even remember exact the total, but I know it was a minute ago. And look at you already. Talk about me hitting 12K. You hit 1,000 just like that. Come on now.
Yes, I have been doing it for 3 months now. So yeah, all glory to God. That's all I gotta say, because I'm still blown away by it. So yes, that's my mama.
Shout out to mom. Appreciate you for coming through. Look, that's just the start of more though. That's just the start of many more thousands to come. And hey, before you know it, you know what's gonna come. Maybe that. Thank you. So you know what it is. But alrighty, thank you all for coming through. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to Miss
Erica. To Erica too. Yes.
To Miss Erica and Asia, of course. Everybody. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. As always, being boy Juan Gotti. We're on the road to 13,000 subscribers. Ooh, it feels so refreshing to say that.
There you go. There you go.
Subscribers, I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. Peace.